everyone, it's your girl Satin, your favorite skincare YouTuber, and I'm back with another video to convince you to go natural with Saturals. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on that post notification so you can stay up to date with all the amazing content we have coming and keep our community growing. So if you've been tuning in, you know we've been focusing on our self-care series. And although skincare education is our main focus, it is also extremely important that we prioritize our self-care. So a couple of months ago, I had the honor to be a speaker at the High Value Woman Conference, where I spoke about finding balance in our chaos. I feel this is extremely important for all of us as we go through our day-to-day routines because, you know, it can often be repetitive and kind of chaotic. So today I will be covering some of my favorite tips for finding balance in our chaos. So we tend to just experience the day as it is, you know? We kind of take one foot before the other and keep pushing. But do we ever really stop to think about how we are being intentional in our thoughts and actions? You may say, like, how do I find value and balance in my chaos? That makes no sense. But as we go through our days, we have things that come at us like, you know, stress, anxiety, worry, and trauma. And it's extremely pertinent that we figure out a way that we find something that brings us some sort of peace and solace. And in that, we find the balance within our chaos. So, you know, it's not about knowing everything is going to go right, but it's about stopping and thinking about things that, you know, maybe like your triggers, and having the ability to face and tackle them with a level head versus from a place of anger. Because when you're angry, you actually carry that intention out into your verbalization through your actions, and you actually hold on to that. So you're not able to necessarily, you know, make everything better. So it's more about finding ways to cope with your chaos. So for example, I woke up this morning basically kind of on the wrong side of the bed. You know, things were going wrong. My daughter woke up super early. She's crying. You know, my husband left dishes in the sink. And, you know, there's other things like I had meetings to get to. And it was just like, oh, you know, it's stressful. And all these things that were thrown at me is more about my response. So I realized that the value in how we respond to the chaos that comes at us is really what's important. That's where we actually find the value. So today, my focus is just showing simple ways in which we can find balance in our chaos in order to live more fulfilling lives. So an important takeaway is that chaos and balance are barely a step away from one another. Although when we are in these moments of chaos, this may be very hard to believe. So in most cases, we really only hear what we want to hear. And that shapes our thoughts, right? Because thoughts become things. And if you are only ingesting negativity, then that's what you're going to actualize into your reality. So we have all engaged in, you know, this toxic positivity, or the act of like constantly telling ourselves we shouldn't be stressed or ungrateful because, you know, things could be worse, right? We say things like, oh, I feel guilty for being upset. So we are constantly convincing ourselves that we have to show gratitude when we feel like crap. And neither is realistic or healthy for us. In fact, it's quite toxic, and it causes a buildup of emotions that we have not actually had the ability to really, you know, transmute through. So this can manifest into physical reactions like anxiety or anger. So in our attempt to be grateful and put on, you know, this happy face, we become sad, which in fact is the polar opposite of what we want or expect. So a quote that actually comes to mind for me is by Pema Chadron. And she says, nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we really need to know, right? So gratitude is extremely important. However, we have to understand the necessary steps to get to a place of gratitude. So I want everyone to think of a time that you felt as if your life was in extreme chaos. Like, what was happening? Did you feel like a hamster on a wheel? You know, never going anywhere? Who was around you? How did your body respond to it? Now think about how you came out of this chaotic time, if you have. Did you truly find balance and peace, or did you put a Band-Aid on it and keep it pushing? Which I feel most of us do. I mean, I know I tend to, you know, try to find like the quickest way to Band-Aid something so I can go on to my next task. And in doing that, I realize it's not healthy. So chaos represents a negative way of existing in the world that brings about disorganization and is harmful to living a productive and fulfilling life. So I'd like to say there are 4 values in chaos. The first is chaos creates safety. It creates an emotional barrier around us, so it doesn't allow us the ability to fully impact these painful experiences. Chaos creates attraction. So we bond with those people who have had similar experiences because it feels like acceptance. It's kind of like that trauma bonding, but it never really brings about resolution to the trauma. The third value is chaos and its many moving parts actually create excitement. So people become addicted to this chaotic life that they live or the drama. And finally, chaos holds potential for growth. If we step back, we can actually see the bigger picture and have some sort of resolve. You know, how often do we act impulsively and we never look at the bigger picture? So there are steps to finding value in balance. The first is to acknowledge and accept that you can't do everything all the time. You know, you only have so many resources, time, energy, money, etc. You're only one person and cannot always manage to do it all. So stop, take that deep breath, and regroup, you know? So I say that our main problem is that we begin to accept that picture that society has painted for us. So we remove our individuality and creativity out of the picture, and we let others hold the power of the way that our life should unfold within us. But within that, we actually lose the knowledge that we are the creators of our own life experiences, and that, you know, freedom exists as a basis of our true experiences. And ultimately, the creation of a life experience is absolutely up to us, you know? So the ultimate goal is to realign with our source energy, which is ourselves and the energy within us, and to reawaken, you know, clarity, goodness, and the power of what we really hold and who we truly are. So all you can do is what you can do, and all you can do is enough. So, you know, let go of the need for perfection and for solving all the problems of all the people. You cannot do that, and that's okay. Finally, you want to manage yourself and not your time. There's really no such thing as time management, but we can manage our activities. So everyone has the exact same amount of time, 24 hours in one day, right? Many days we wish we could tack on an hour or two just to finish things or to get more rest or, you know, squeeze in whatever it is that we want to do. So managing yourself actually reflects a sense of responsibility and what you do in a day and in your lifetime ultimately. So it's being proactive and realizing the power of choice and knowing what you do have control over. So I say you want to add and subtract. So regarding like activities, what pressuring tasks are you willing to give up or subtract in order to have or achieve something more important in a different area, right? So the saying goes, to do more of one thing, you must do less of another, right? So you must be willing to cut some activities from your schedule, even if it's just temporarily, in order to accomplish what your higher priorities are. So when planning your week, you want to determine which less important tasks or projects can wait. So subtract these from your weekly to-do list and you'll feel that sense of like that overwhelmedness lessen automatically. So regarding people, I say identify people in 3 segments. A, people in your life, these people build you up. They believe in you. They support you. You know, someone is in this category if you feel better about how you feel after being around them. They add to your life. And then there's B, people. These people serve as neutral people. So you feel about the same after being with this person than you did before. And the last people are the C, people, who really need to go into a file to be released or phased out. So you want to add or spend more time with A, people, because they'll energize, empower, and inspire you and give you strength rather than stress. And the C, people, you want to totally phase out because they bring you that anxiety. Another important thing is just say no. When people say, will you, no. Can you? No. I just need, no. I need, no. We can always count on you. You're so good at. What happens when you hear these messages? Do you feel flattered, annoyed, or used? What do you think will happen if you say no? So sometimes we say yes to things just because we feel pressure to give an immediate answer. However, always remember you have the right to take some time to think about what you can reasonably do before responding. So being able to say no is a critical piece of reducing stress and balance in your life. It also gives our yeses a lot more power, Another tip is to schedule time for yourself. If you don't take care of self, who will? If you don't take time to step away and preserve your health and well-being, then who will? It is wonderful to have, other people in our lives we can help, work with, be friends with, share activities with. However, you should be your own best friend first. I know you want your family and friends to have the best of you, but it takes deliberate effort on your part to make that happen. So it's important that you make it a priority to schedule a time and place for yourself to bring what gives you comfort, right? Health, joy, or whatever you just need now. So it's important to be intentional in resting and playing and growing. I like to take at least 10 minutes a day to read or walk or rest, because scheduling time for yourself is a must if you want the best of yourself ready to tackle, these busy schedules that we have. Another important thing is to live with purpose. A life oriented around an authentic and passionate purpose is one that is much easier to keep in balance. So the best life balance plan is different for each of us because, we all have different priorities and we have different lives. And I think it's really important to remember that life is a journey, not a destination. And it has so much value in terms of reminding us about the value of maintaining a balanced life. There is, no last and final time to clean our house or care for our children, our families, maintain our own health or accomplish some goals. There will always be something that we need to do. And this is a good thing. But the pleasure that can come from this is that we have a choice about how to live our lives, what activities to be involved in, and the people to foster relationships. So it's important that we're cognizant of the signs in our life that may be out of balance and start taking steps to realign our sense of control and find that life balance. So how many of you are familiar with the idea of the butterfly effect or have seen that movie? It's one of my favorites. And what exactly is the butterfly effect? It's essentially a property of chaotic systems, such as the atmosphere, by which small changes in initial conditions can lead to a large scale and unpredictable variations in the future state of whatever that condition is. So life is made of patterns that cause unpredicted and unexpected occurrences, right? And life and growth are similar, and out of chaotic aspects, we actually find our potential for growth. So when chaos strikes, it can help to look at the feelings it generates and use them to reshape the way you respond to negative feelings and build personal fortitude and strength. So how do we find value in our chaos? It's simple. The value is in how we respond to the chaos that comes at us. The ultimate goal is to realign with our source, which is ourselves, and the energy that we hold within, and reawaken to, the clarity and goodness and the power of what we really hold and who we truly are. So what we need to do is gradually, piece by piece, release those resistant thoughts which hold us back. And the reward for releasing the resistance is actually peace. It's super simple, it's just, doing small things to reshape our days and really just going back to what the overall message of this series is, which is self-care. You find the greatest balance when you're in alignment within yourself and you know who you are, what your goals are, and where you want to go. And when you prioritize those things, you're able to be a better person and show up for, your family, your friends, your job, whatever, thing that is bringing you that chaos, because you have clarity. And when you prioritize self, you have self-preservation and you show up in the best way possible. So I hope some of these tips were useful for you to help you find balance in your chaos. And I thank you all for tuning into our self-care series. I hope that it has been informative and has helped you in some way, shape, or form. And I hope that it's also convinced you to come go natural with Saturals. So thanks for tuning in. Peace. Saturals.